Welcome, y'all, to another edition of Road to Miami Art Week. Today, I'm really excited to share we have a guest speaker. But before we bring her on, I just want to quickly introduce myself. My name is Rob McCarty. I'm one of the co-founders of illust. We're a browser-based augmented reality publishing platform. We are so lucky to be working with an amazing crew of artists and creators and curators, the Balance Forces exhibition team. So we have JBR, Sven, and Crystal, who are, just really helping make this whole project come to life. And so, JBR, Crystal, Sven, if you want to say anything real quick before we dive into today's workshop.
Go ahead, JVR. You
Okay.
better than I.
Just kidding. No, I'm not. The thing is, I have so many friends in here. It's ridiculous. I have to say, first of all, hi to Creatrice. Haven't seen you in a while. I love seeing your dang face. It's so beautiful. Quasar, I'm so happy that you're a part of this. You have no idea. It's so wonderful. I can't even talk about it because I'm going to start tearing up. I'm an emotional human being, and I have to accept that. So I'm just going to say really quickly, I want to say thank you so much to LM. LM was one of the winners of the last, the New York thingy that we did. My words are escaping me right now. I don't have enough coffee in me, but I just want to say that I'm really happy to be a curator for this. Balance Forces is really kind of a phenom in that it was resurrected from me to me. illust was resurrected from Searchlight. I mean, I hadn't really connected with illust until Crystal came to me and said, "Hey, what do you think about doing this in Port Moody?" And I was just like, let's call illust. So it's really amazing the history behind everyone here that has been doing the Web3 thing for so long. And, just being able to resurrect now Searchlight, myself and Forever Curious we've purchased the licensing for Searchlight. So there's opportunities. We are going to produce opportunities that are AR related from that pack. So because history, man, if we don't continue this and we don't continue to preserve what it is that you artists have done, on the blockchain, then it dies. Essentially, it kind of dies. So that's I'm all about preservation and bringing communities together. So love and light. Yeah, thanks for letting me share. I guess you're right, Stan. I do for a long time.
Thanks, JBR. Appreciate you sharing. Sven.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Thanks for bringing me up. My name is Sven. I'm the founder of the 23 Artists and jumped into the Balance Forces project just before Port Moody, to be honest, and I'm still proud of it to be part of it. I'm the guy who's responsible for the balanceforces.com website. Some new features I'm adding right now. I brought up all New York artists with their artworks over there. Now I'm working on the Port Moody artworks. That's a little bit complicated, but we're gonna fix it too. And I don't know if you know it already. We're gonna make a object drop for the Miami collection. For every artist who is interested, maybe you have already seen it on the submission form. So I'm the guy behind that collection, and you will hear from me directly via email or whatever, all the channels, Twitter, Instagram, and now I'm very hyped to use Base right now to make some money over there. Thanks a lot for the invitation, Rob, and yeah, I wish everybody a lot of fun over here, and let's move together to Miami and welcome LM Design. You're such a sunshine always, and we are so proud of having you within somewhere in our team. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Sven. And so a little bit of alpha was just shared in there, which I'm excited to present. So one thing that I forgot to mention early on, that we just found out is that any artist that submits to Balance Forces Miami will also be getting a free ticket to Bitbosel. So the organization is going to be hooking y'all up. So if you are in Miami, you are submitting to our exhibition, you'll get a free ticket to the event that we're partnered with. So should be a good one. I mean, shoot, Friday's programming is looking pretty fierce. There's gonna be a lot of digital art collectors in the building. So yeah, and we'll be running around. So it'll be great to meet y'all. So that was a big announcement. And the other big announcement is that following Sven's success in kind of the Web3 and digital art curation side, we wanted to really kind of put our I don't know, our bits where our mouth is, I guess, or like I don't know, our Web3 chops where our mouth is. But we're going to be doing a collection, a digital art collection, so that we could, the ideal goal is that not only are we presenting the works, but that you as an artist could also be able to sell your works to this community that we're building of collectors and audiences. So that's going to be a big push. We're going to switch up a little bit of our scheduling for the rest of the programming this month, where we're actually going to have our Web3 and minting session a little bit later this month, closer actually to the activation date, where we'll do all the minting and all that, and we'll talk about that whole process. So if you have your artwork, you want to mint it, I'd hold off for just a little bit until we actually work together and we do our collection as a group. But Sven will actually be spearheading that workshop too. So he'll be in the hot seat. But yeah, without further ado, I want to welcome onto the stage LM Designs. LM is a great, dear friends. We have opportunity to collaborate IRL on a workshop in Austin for the Texas Hemp Festival. And from that point forward, I just absolutely fell in love with her artwork. Her approach to design is both complex, but it looks to the common eye as very simple and easy to digest. But just looking at, like, actually seeing it from how the sausage is made, wow, she really extends the medium. So we figured for a discussion around 3D workflows and around kind of really diving a little bit deeper into how these are produced, that she would be a great guest to bring on. And so without further ado, I want to introduce LM. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that she can bring her presentation online, and then we'll get things going. So LM, it's all you.
Hello, 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 you beautiful souls. It is so wonderful and exciting to be here. I just want to say thank you for this opportunity, first and foremost. And let's get right into it, because again, it looks very simple, but there's lots we can do with what we are getting into. So this is going to be an augmented reality workshop focusing on what we are going to be able to do from Meshy all the way to illust a launch. So let's get right into it. I am LMDesigns8 for those who don't know me. LM are my initials, designs is what I do. 8 is my favorite number, but in the instance of this, it's infinite. So with that, let's go. All right, so whoever wants to follow along, please do so now. You can hop over to Meshy and be able to generate something with us if you want to. Otherwise, you can just follow along with what we have on the screen. Meshy AI, it's a phenomenal tool that really can help you when you want to create an asset of 3D nature, and you are able to do it, and the pipeline is very simplistic. So we start off with Meshy on the website, and you can see here it is meshy.ai is for everyone in the chat. And then we are able to do and look at what they have as far as their toolkit. I'm going to take you through the slides, and then I'm going to share with you on screen. We're going to generate something all together. So within Meshy, you will be able to see a toolkit that allows you to generate your 3D models. You can export GLBs, and you're going to want to, for optimization purposes, choose the smallest file format. We're going to get into it. No worries if you don't know what's going on. We're going to get there. There is image to 3D, there's text to 3D, and you can do the AI texturing and text to images. So all of these various options are available within Meshy. So if you have an idea, or if you're like, I want something that looks like an African alien that is shooting to Mars, you're going to be able to pop just that prompt in, and then it will kick you back what it thinks that you are thinking of. So once it does its rendering and everything, once you put in your prompts, you're going to be able to download and save that file to wherever you would like to save locally. And you're going to want to, in order to make everything work for anywhere that you're using these 3D objects and files, you're going to want to have short and clear file names. That's just a good practice for all of the things that you will be creating in different assets. When you get into, if you get into it in any other programs, materials, everything, you want clear, concise, and short name file names so that everything runs smoothly behind the scenes, because computers reads the ones and zeros and we give them a lot. So with that, this is one of the instances that I did generate. I was like, I want a little ice golem. That was all I put in, and this was what they came out with. So I was like, oh, this is really cool. Inside of there, after you are done saving it to your computer, you are then able to open it within illust. And for those of you who have been to the site, you know where to go. But this is just a quick run through on how to do it. You're going to create the AR scene, and this is going to be the beginning of where you're launching that 3D asset that you created from Meshy from. Within there, this is a beautiful, wonderful, this is why I love illust, because from creation, thought creation to you can actually immerse is so effortless. So within there, you're going to scroll down on the screen where you can save and upload your 3D model. Obviously, there's a lot of different options that you can have there, but those are for other things. We're sticking on the 3D side. And once you upload it, it will then render in the scene, and you're going to want to scroll to the top and make sure you click that save, because every time you just want to make sure you save, just like good practices, save often. Even though it does the auto save in there, you just want to make sure and be on the safe side. And then from there, you are going to be able to move, render, and use and export, preview the different AR inside of the different preview options that illust has. You can preview it in simple AR, desktop, all of the different things, so you can see how it's going to work before you save it. Tips for the smoothest deployment: we want low poly. Low poly exports from Meshy, the highest ones will kick out things that look phenomenal, but they are heavy inside of what you are going to be using as far as AR is concerned. Anytime you are dealing with assets that are optimized for AR, MR, XR, any of those, you're going to want the smallest files possible, because that's going to cut down on the load time in the back screen so that the immersion happens as frictionlessly as possible. You're going to want to, again, avoid long file names. We don't want special characters or things, because sometimes computers are like, yeah, no, that's not going to work for us. So we just want to help them out. And look, help us help you. So we're going to help the computers. We're going to give simple, clear, and concise file names. You are going to want to test in all of the different platforms and on multiple devices. This is my favorite thing. I am never going to be wed to one device, because not everyone experiencing it is on the same platform and has the same devices that I do. So I want to always, always, always tell people, test it everywhere. Then have other people test it, because sometimes things get cached inside your browser where you're testing and you're like, oh, it's working. And someone else is like, that's not working at all for me. And you're like, okay, this is where you're going to be troubleshooting and working through that side of things before you release it to the world and say, hey, it is ready to go. The illust preview modes are phenomenal, and then you are able to share it out after that. Within that, let's get into some terminology before we do the full run through from beginning to end, where we are going to go into the chat and y'all are going to give me some ideas, and we're going to run through and create an experience right now. So before that, let's get into 3D optimization and terminology. 3D is very wonderful, and the terminology, when you think of Blender, there's different things and various things with the different tools that people are like, whoa, what is that? But with new vocab, once you get it, you're like, oh, I understand. That's why the verts, the UV maps. So UV maps, what are they? They're the 2D layouts of textures on 3D surfaces. So when you are inside of different programs and you're editing your textures and things, it is what is making the 3D model appear to have the colors and variations that are in there. Within that, when you are kicking that out of different file formats in different places, they tend to have high resolution, so it looks really good. But again, we want the small file size. So you're going to want to always optimize that in and of itself, and that will slim down your actual asset by just changing the size that the actual UV map is saved at. Sometimes they come in at 480 and things of that nature. That's really, really big. We can use 512 when we're doing AR because of how augmented reality is working. So just play around with that and keep that in mind for the UV maps. Again, why it matters, they control the texture wraps and how it looks and feels, the actual asset. With topology, that is the flow and structure of the mesh itself, the geometry of it. So when you pull in a 3D object and you go into an edit mode in an app such as Blender, you'll be able to see that there are all of these different points and all of these different segmentations that make up the actual object. This is important because it impacts how we are going to animate, if you're going to animate it, how it looks, the deformation, the shape of it, the roundness that you have within it. So the topology is something that you're going to want to pay attention to and see how heavy it is when you get into these various programs. For the verts, let's talk about verts. We love verts because verts are wonderful when we are looking at things. They're great, they're phenomenal. They're the points that are all over the 3D space and define the geometry itself. The more verts equals a heavier file. This is why it's important. So when you bring in a native file and you see that it's got K's, you can check the geometry. I'm going to show you all of this out, and you're going to see you're going to have thousands of vertices. That's a lot. That's heavy weight for what we are going to experience when we want load time to be as low as possible, and we want people to be experiencing it without any friction. So we want low vertices. If you can get your vertices under the thousands, perfecto. Perfecto. That is what we're aiming for. We want low verts, and you can do a whole thing where you change the verts to quads, etc., which will not decimate, but it alters the geometry. And there's a whole bunch of things that we will get into further into that for the deep dive into Blender. But we're doing the surface level, and this is the terminology that you're going to want to remember. So when you're like, okay, high verts, okay, I'm going to look at Fab, or I'm going to get a different 3D object from a various marketplace. What are the verts? Because a lot of times they will have that information right listed with the object. So you'll be like, oh, this one's a little too heavy for what I'm trying to have in this experience. With tris versus quad, that again ties into when the points converge, our verts converge, we get triangles. And triangles are good for some things and not for other things. So we want to be able to take the triangles, convert them to quadrilaterals, and in that it will lower and slim the 3D object and the 3D file, because then it removes what? The verts, which equals heavier files. We want lightweight. We want thick butterflies, things light as a feather. But these are the things that you want to keep in mind. Tris are universal and quads are much cleaner. So you're going to, when you use any 3D files and different softwares, most of them will come out and be in high tris. They will have high verts and different things. You can definitely use low poly, because if you start off with low poly, then you're good to go off jump. But again, for the Meshy to illust things to consider, it's going to have higher verts when you initially just kick out. So you're going to want to choose the smallest option for that output. And the last that we're going to get to in this screen is weight. The weight refers to the file size and how long it's going to take to render. So again, we want lightweight, not heavyweight. In AR, when people, you don't know what the bandwidth of the internet or where they are downloading from, you don't want to have to rely on, 5G, because not everyone has that. We want to be interoperable and we want it to be frictionless for everyone involved. We don't want to gatekeep, and the internet is not strong everywhere we go. So if we make it smaller, we make more people be able to experience it in the ways that we intended it to be. So with that, we want to always remember the weight and how it will always affect performance in illust, any AR, XR, MR experience. Your file size matters, and that's why optimization is key for running smooth, frictionless experiences. And with that, before we get into the running through where we're going to do one and launch one, I do want to mention that there is a Blender deep dive. So if you want to optimize your assets like a pro, if you want to learn how to do retopology and clean up those messy meshes that come out, if you want to learn how to rebake textures, because sometimes the textures are there, but you want to add your own to it. There's so many different ways to do that just with working on UV maps and textures alone. It is a wonderful thing to consider and think on. How to decimate high poly models, convert quads to tris for WebXR or any compatibility, because once you have AR assets, you really have any optimized asset becomes game assets. So you can take this now and use this asset repeated throughout all the spaces and places that you are creating. So the power doesn't just stop here. This is the initiation. This is the spark and the seed, and it grows from here. There is no limits to what we are able to create when we have this type of technology at our fingertips. It's super exciting. So all of that will be in a future workshop and deep dive workshops that I do have and I do offer. But right now, all of this information is here for you to take in. You can work with me, you can learn with me, and let's get into the fun of it all. And I will start sharing Meshy the screen. So if y'all are ready to follow along, we can get into it. And if you have any quick questions while we're transitioning, shoot them down and I will check on the chat. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing and start sharing my other screen right now. And I hope y'all are enjoying this workshop with LMDesigns8. I appreciate y'all. Okay. This is fun. This is Meshy. There are a lot of different ways. If you join inside of their Discord and their communities, they have various contests and various things where you can earn credits. So if you don't have a lot of credits, there are ways to get into different credits, but I like using free things because, it's wonderful. And for whichever platform and tier that you need, you can adjust as needed. But we're going to start off in this way and form. So when you get into it, they have the workplace. And again, this is where the toolkit is, where you can do 3D to video, image to 3D, text to 3D, and all of the things. So I'm going to ask very quickly if you all have any suggestions. Let me check in the chat on what we might want to create, because we'll do text to 3D. So we're going to generate a prompt in here. This is obviously, my old prompt. This is some of the other stuff that I've worked on, but we're going to get into a prompt and I want it to be us based. So, okay. Let me find the chat. There we go. Hello, chat. Okay, so what ideas do y'all have for this creation? Let's see. Any ideas? No idea is a silly idea. I see gems, y'all. I will do some gems for things. Yes, I heard a mic come off. Yes.
There we go. Yeah, I just turned my mic on. Yeah, feel free to any ideas. They could be as silly as you want them, as abstract. Like this is an open canvas. So yeah, we're looks like we're getting some here in the chat here.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're gonna. Okay. All right. Coconuts. Okay, so let's blend I'm going to take a word from each. See what happens when this is going to be like Meshy illust AR poetry. So we're going to see what happens when we blend. I'm going to pull some words. Okay, let's see. We're going to do cat with, okay, cat with coconuts. And, ooh, cat with coconuts, flying, cat with fairy wings and coconuts flying over a volcano. Okay. That sounds kind of a mashup of some of the things that are in the chat. Okay.
This is interesting.
It's gonna be something. It's gonna be something. Okay. So I'm gonna drop this in. And again, if you have questions and don't know what you're wanting to prompt, you can totally click the help me write a prompt. But this is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna do cat with fairy wings and coconuts flying over a volcano. Let's see what happens. And here is, you can do auto for these various things. It's going to use some of your credits to run each thing. But again, they have ways that you can refill, and it's really wonderful. I haven't had to use the paid version for the things that I've had to do within this. So yes. All right. So what's going to happen while it's thinking about what we gave it? It is going to sit here and generate and go through the amazing creation that we came up together with. So a cat with fairy wings and coconuts flying over a volcano. It does it so quickly. It's amazing how you're like, okay, we thought of this. Now, what is it going to give back to us? And in the time frame that you're contemplating, like, how is this going to go? What is happening? It's already generated 69% of what we have come up with within this chat. It is a great way. I look at AI as a wonderful sounding board and a great starting place. If there is something that you are not liking about the AI, you can tweak it yourself. Okay, interesting. We have a fairy cat on, it looks like a cushion. But I like it. So again, when you give it certain prompts, it comes back and says, this is what I think of what you said. So this is what we have. We have a cat with fairy wings. And I guess that's it's on a tuffet. It's happy. It's a happy cat. And so we're gonna go with this happy cat. So I want to make note and take note to say, again, there are always going to be things that are shared with you on the screen about what it is that the model is comprised of. So you see that there is, my goodness, do you see the count on the faces, the vertices? This is what we call a hefty file. But that's okay, because we're going to do things. We're going to texturize it too, because why stop here? We're going to keep going through. So to get to the texture part, we're just going to see what it does with the prompt that we have. Yes, we'll just see what it does and see if it brings it. Oh, maybe that's the coconut. Yep, that is the coconut. See, there we go. It's sitting on a coconut. See, so you just have to look at it from you have to turn around, look at it from all the angles. So we got the coconut. We might not have, the volcano, but let's see where it goes when we texture it. So we're going to stay with the same prompts, and we're going to hit texture, and we're going to let it run its thing. And I appreciate each and every one of you contributing, and y'all are amazing and wonderful. So I just wanted to check on the chat, make sure everything was great. So this is where it's going to generate what the looks and feel is going to be. And yes, I see a hand up. High five, bro.
Hey, high five. I just had a quick question while this is generating. So Nita was asking which platform is better, Spline or Meshy, especially with rigging and animation. Can we talk there?
that would be, for my personal preference, definitely Meshy, because you can animate right in it. Spline is, it works for what it works for, but I like Meshy. I like it a lot. It works really well. And if you want to blend something, not even just using the actual AI app that is generating the 3D objects, Mixamo is always my go-to for the rigging and the animating on the easy and that side of things. So yes.
Like, one more question here. I'm working on a digital painting that I want to convert to 3D and then animate. Can I do that all in Meshy?
You're working on a 3D painting. I mean, you're working on
Okay. On a digital painting that I want to convert to 3D and then animate. Can I do that all in Meshy?
you can do, and I'm gonna go to here. There is image to video, but it is in beta. I have not used the image to video within Meshy yet, but that is an option. You can totally use image to video, and then I would just pull that out and render it as a plane. So that is an option. The best option, and the one that my go-to, is Blender for all of those things, because you can do, it's intimidating at surface level, but because it's intimidating because it can do everything. So just know exactly what you're trying to do, as far as, okay, I want to take my painting from this, I want it to animate in this way. Also, what do I use all the time? I use, what is the motion leap. Love it. Love it. That is where most of the animations from my paint pour and my paint pour immersions that I build out, that is where I do my animations for that from. Because it's just really wonderful, easy. It, on my phone, on the go, I can create the animations for the looks and the feels that I want. So there are a variety of options, but those are the ones that I particularly use. So yes. And the texturing does take a little bit more time, but we are already at 81%, y'all. And look, all we had to do was come up with some words, think on some things, and then decide to put the prompt in, and then let it do its thing. This is where it becomes while you are working on your workflow, creativity is beautiful to have when you have a sounding board that kicks you back various ideas that you want to use.
Yeah, I wasn't definitely, this wasn't my first guess of what we would be creating today, but I loved it. So Quasar has a good question. For Meshy and illust, what are the file size limitations for the final input? Also, any other best practices for settings to keep the file size lowest? I'm imagining for Meshy.
Yes. So this is where we're going to get into it. There are, when you are going through it, and okay. So, okay, it's like a lava cat. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Well, we have color. We have color, y'all. It is like a lava cat with wings on a gray coconut. But to answer your question, yes, when you get to the point where you're saving, you are going to want to pay attention to lowering and changing the outputs there. So we have it all here in texture. We can go over to where it says remesh. And this is where you're going to see everything that you need to see as far as making it bigger, making it smaller. So it actually comes in, this is going to be what they consider the 10K, which is the higher you don't want. We want the lower. So again, this is where it kicks out and how it kicks out on the free plan, but you can customize and lower it with the subscription. So I just take it as is and I confirm we want the 10K. It's remeshing it. And then I'm going to save this to my computer. I can also do it from here, but this is cleaning it up for me. So we want, again, the simplest way is to have the app do it for you, and then you do the other things behind, and then go on to the next phase of it. So for that, because that's going to take a little bit of time, I am going to see what this saves to. We're going to download it, and the file size is still the same. Within Illust, you're still going to want it as small as possible, but under the 50 megabyte file size for that. To answer that question, I hope I answered. Okay, yes, got thumbs up. Wonderful. And then we're going to download, and where is it? Doobie-doo. Oh, wait. Subscribe to unlock downloads with models generated. Oh, wait, hold on. I have this one right here. Let's see. Doobie-doo. There we go. Let's see. Edit. Oh, no. And then, oh, okay. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Strange. Normally I just click download and it's saved.
Yeah, could be a bug on their end. There's also a couple other softwares. So Meshy is not the only one that does this. Just like a quick overview. Meshy is super user friendly. It makes things easy to do the whole process. But I think I've used like Tripo. Tripo was pretty good. I think Tripo also gives you a lot more like initial credits on the free plan, just to kind of get your hands dirty. I would say that maybe Tripo is kind of like more geared towards, I'd say, like game development. I feel like a lot of their models kind of give you that kind of vibe. Yeah, I'll drop it in the chat here. But yeah, there's a few of these that are out. Actually, like some of these are open source. So people are just building on top of them different UI. So Meshy's done a really good job marketing themselves, but there are quite a few out there that you can pull in. And actually, one of the gentlemen in our community, Zen, he actually took it upon himself to do it on his own accord, and he's created his own model and is doing that for his artwork himself. So it's pretty cool to see. Yeah, just some of the approaches to this technology. So yeah, Tripo, and yeah, I'll drop that in the chat here. But while you're getting things downloaded,
Yes. And I'm like, okay, let's see. Yeah, normally I've never run into the issue and it just normally downloads. So I'm going to try and pull up one that I already have. Let's see.
yeah, no worries if we work with another model. It's no stress.
Okay, well, this one I animated. This is the one that I did prior. He has low verts and things. You can see his faces are low, his verts are low. So we're going to use this. Again, once I get the cat fairy wing coconut asset, I will do the things and share it out to Rob so that they could be in the classroom or something of that nature for everyone involved. So
We'll share it in school.
awesome. Okay, so I'm going to extract this one and you're going to save it to your desktop, wherever you would like to save it. And this one, we're going to do all night dancing. And okay, now I'm going to share my screen. So once you've downloaded it, we're going to go to the next step of that. So after that, we're done with the Meshy side of things. Now we're going to go right on over to illust. Yes, save as a GLB. 100%. Thank you, Rob. We're going to go over to illust. So I'm going to start by sharing this. And this is where we are going to create the AR experience. We're going to give it a name and just run down workshop, Meshy, fun. All right. And we're going to let it generate a slug. Perfect. Okay. Or we'll just make a slug or pop up too. Okay. And then, yes, I am the author. Okay. There, it generated slug. And then the fun we made during the school Illust workshop. All right. All right. So we're going to have this show on the map. We're going to leave all of these things the same so you can see all of this. Okay. So this is where we scroll down to the content. You can choose your options. We're doing the 3D model. We're going to go upload. I'm going to grab, because when you animate it and you bring it down from Meshy, all of the different formats that it is animated in save out as separate files. And you can, oh, you can't see that part. Let me open that. There we go. You can see, oh, will it show you the file name? I will drop down the file name into the chat so you can see what that is like. There we go. Properties and copy. So you want file names that are simple, sweet, and the computers love, such as this. So using the underscore to be able to separate out but not have spaces within files, computers love it. Give it to them the way they love and they give you back what you want. So just a note to everyone. All right. So back on the illust, we see a little dude dancing. Okay. But remember, we want to scroll up and we want to hit the save button. Yes, the save. Then what we're going to do is we want him bigger. He's dancing. He's dancing his little heart out, but we want him bigger. So I always do 888. It's just my thing to start off, and I do save. And then that's just how I operate and such. And so we're going to wait for, because sometimes it requires a reload. And we're going to see where he is. Refresh. Bam. And there we go. He's tiny. And they're reminding you, hey, he's a little tiny. You might want to make him a little bigger. And we want him to dance his little heart out as big as he wants to. So again, we're going to go back to world tracking. We're going to make him even bigger because why not? Why not? Let's try 20. See what he looks like at 20. He might be really big at 20. Oh yeah, he's really big. Okay, he's really big. He might need to shrink a little bit. But that's okay because guess what? We're going to toggle on these fabulous functions, which will allow the user that is experiencing it to adjust the size from where they are. Powerful. Because if you make it too small, you can get it bigger in the experience on that moment. It's beautiful. So we're going to allow both of these. And then we're going to hit save. And then we are going to share this out because again, you want to test in all of the formats, all of the ways. So I'm doing the desktop preview on one tab. I'm dropping into the chat the simple AR preview for everyone to test out. And then I'm going to find a place to hide him somewhere in the world for everyone else to experience at some point in time. I think I'm going to drop him at the National Harbor because anyone who is at the National Harbor in Maryland, on the East Coast, there is a lot of fun things already dropped there. So I'm going to drop him right in the middle because I've actually walked this recently because using illust to bring the experience together when I was an exhibitor for the Boris Lawrence Henson Creative Art and Wellness Summit was phenomenal. The Cultural Art and Wellness Summit was incredible. And this allowed me to bring artists that I've been involved with, artists that you collab with, activate them within that space also. So I was telling everyone, there's artists that I know all around, so explore. And that's the other thing. It invites people to explore. That's what we really want. We want to just energize people with the things that we do and the things that are around us. So I hope that everyone was able to possibly see and experience the illust that I dropped into the chat, but that is just the easiest and simplest way to do from Meshy straight through to illust. There are inside and beyond that, you can re-topologize things in Blender. There are other sites such as Convert 3D where you can actually drop in a file and it shrinks it. So you don't actually have to use Blender to do compression of files and such. It is the cleanest way to do it, but you can use other places and other things to 888. Yes, indeedy. It is a way that you can do it. There are, just like there's many different tools just besides Meshy, and I should put a list together. It's on my Twitter. I have an actual running list of open AI things, but I'm gonna have to see how to transport that over to the school side of things for everyone, and share that out, because sharing is caring. Because what? I want to see what you do with all of this. But again, there's so many different places that will definitely slim down your 3D assets. So these are the various options and things. And I hope that you all had a wonderful workshop with me, LMDesigns8. If you want to dive deeper, there is going to be time for that. And I am ready for the questions. Okay.
Yeah. LM, thank you so much. That was incredible. Yeah, before we dive into the questions, we'll just want to quickly share with the community that, yeah, as we kind of mentioned at the onset, LM is, I mean, she's a practitioner in this space. I mean, she's working with brands, agencies, events. Just put on a fashion show the other day. So she's really a veteran when it comes to like all things 3D. So there is a form here. If you are interested in doing like her masterclass, like her 3D workflow masterclass, which it more focuses on like the Blender workflows. She's going to be doing some tutorials. So here's a form. Feel free to fill it out if you're interested, and she'll be able to kind of get in touch about that. And yeah, and then as far as the homework for this week, what we want to focus on is this idea that now that you kind of have the tools, a lot of these programs have a free plan. Try and create something from scratch. Prompt an AI to generate a 3D model for yourself and bring it into illust and share with us what you created. Yeah, the fairy cat volcano coconut was definitely an interesting play. So I'm excited to see what you all do, because previously you either had to create from scratch in a 3D program, which takes some time, takes a lot of time, or you had to buy the asset on like Sketchfab or on like Turbo Squid or any of those platforms. So yeah, that's basically, at least from our end. And just a couple last minute things before we jump into Q&A and we turn the recording off. Just as a reminder, November 26th is the last day for the open call. That's Wednesday, November 26th. So please be sure to submit for the Miami Code Blue activation by then. These will all be recorded. We'll be placing these on our YouTube. So if you want to check out some previous sessions, by all means, check them out there. And yeah, as always, we're just super appreciative that you turn up each week, and we get to see each other and link up as we're kind of learning and building together this new technology. So with that being said, give LM a round of applause via emojis or whatnot. And we're going to close this edition of Balanced Forces with the illust workshops. And yeah, the world is yours. Have a good one, y'all.